We are talking about a homebuyer's worst nightmare. This is Corey Riddle. He's a local man, was trying to buy a home and ended up being duped into sending $84,000 to a fraudster instead of the title company. We're hearing about this scam starting to happen. So thank you so much for stepping forward to share your story to help warn homebuyers out there. We appreciate it.
Sure, yeah.
So walk me through what happened.
So we had just moved back actually from overseas, and my wife and kids had taken an overnight flight. We'd landed early in the morning. You can imagine the state of mind we were in. We were set to close the next morning, and I was expecting instructions from the title company on how to do that. In the middle of a chain of emails, I'd been doing a lot of the communication from my phone while traveling. I received what I thought were wiring instructions from the title company. It was on company letterhead. It was sent to me, my realtor. It appeared to be from the title company's email address that I'd been conversing with. And we had been discussing how to make that payment. It listed the exact details of closing, the time of closing, the address, the amount. It all seemed to check out. So I made the wire transfer. Later that afternoon, I started to get a little suspicious because I hadn't heard from the title company. I'd reached out and contacted them a few times, and by the end of the day, it was clear. They contacted me back to say something's happened, we haven't received it. And when I compared what I had been sent, they made it clear they didn't send that email, and the wire was sent to a fraudulent account.
So scary. The good news here, because so often I've covered scams for years, people lose the money, never see it again. You were actually able to recover the funds. Tell me how that happened.
Yeah, so fortunately, the very next day, I have to be thankful to my lender, Matt Brown, with Encompass Lending. It's just purely because he, out of the goodness of his heart, he kept following up with his industry contacts, and he heard of a company called Certified who went after these types of cases specifically for mortgage fraud. I contacted them, and within about 10 minutes received a call back. That was a Wednesday afternoon. They were very clear about the steps. They partnered with the Secret Service to kind of take a top-down approach through the banks and avoid the bank-to-bank freezing of funds. And by Friday afternoon, they had locked the account, and the rest of the entire sum of money was on its way back to my bank account.
That is incredible, and I want you to know at 8 o'clock we're going to be talking with the company about this and how they can help people in this situation. This had to have been a nightmare to go through.
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, we were juggling a lot of things. We had planned for this purchase for a while. I was sick to my stomach when it happened, really just distraught, because that would have been life-changing for my family. We have 2 young kids. What I would say is when I contacted Certified, the agent that I worked with was very clear from the start on what had happened, how these types of things happened, what next steps we could take, and he was in constant communication, really on like an hourly basis in those days to make sure I was aware of what they were doing to help.
Right. We don't know how the scammers were able to get the information, but we are hearing about this happening, so we definitely want home buyers to be alert that this can happen. So Corey Riddle, thank you so much for taking the time to tell your story with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Heather.
Okay, and again, we'll be talking with that company coming up at 8 o'clock and how they're helping scam victims to recover their funds.